Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Schmidt here, and this is the final video in this series. And we're going to be talking about running ads for the product that we found. So, we're going to quickly go over the shoulder and kind of show you what we're going to be doing here. So, if you remember correctly, depending on when you watch this video, maybe you took a little bit of a gap here, but this is the product that we're going to be running. And, in the prior video, we talked about making sure that we contacted the supplier and asked them, can we use the video, the images that you've created here? Because this is a really good image. This is going to really pop in someone's newsfeed. This one as well. But this one really shows exactly what's going on here with the design, which is really the core of it, right? Don't forget that when you're selling stuff that has designs on it, you're not selling the board, you're selling the design. The board's just a kind of a plus. Same thing with a t-shirt, mug, anything like that. So we contacted them. They said yes in this scenario. So what I did is I downloaded that image and then just threw it on a 1200 by 1200 image here in Photoshop. One of the few things I can actually pull off in Photoshop is just creating a template and then loading this on here, saving it as a PNG, and then we're going to use that as our ad image. So I'm going to go over to the Power Editor right now. I like staying in the Power Editor because there's usually the more tools, and I just like the layout a lot better. So we're going to get started here. And so my store is the Smart Apps Test Store. So I'm just going to name that. This is just good naming conventions. As you grow and your business scales up, you want to make sure you can understand exactly what you're looking at. And starting with a good campaign name is the way to do that. So we're going to talk about Smart Test, and then let's say test our mom product. And then we're going to be running a website conversion. They call it conversions up here for your new, if you're new, because I call it website conversion because that's what they used to call it. They change these names all the time, but that's essentially what it is. We're driving people to our website and trying to get ourselves a conversion. So let's go to continue. Now I don't have a pixel installed on this, no big deal. This is just a test account just to show you guys. If you need any help with what's going on in the pixel, we do have that training in the Smart Apps section, the membership section of our apps that you install on your store, as well as this is stuff that Facebook it's out there. You can Google it or YouTube it as well. So if you remember in the prior video, we talked about 25 to 54 is our core demographic. Of course, women. And we want to go down here and hit the parents. All. So 24 million people in our potential reach. Normally, or I should say usually, up to this point, I would say that 24 million people is way too much, right? But Facebook has been making some changes lately at the time of this video where they want you to go bigger and bigger. Now, it is possible that you might be able to utilize this as a starting point. You could break it down further by narrowing maybe the age range here, maybe going into the married like we talked about. So if you wanted to narrow it a little further, you could say married. Cuts it down to 13 million people. If you really wanted to go after maybe the younger crowd and tailor yourself like that, you cut the 54s out of there, and we've narrowed it down to 8 million people. That's an audience I would run into right there, 8 million people. You could also do like separate ads, right? So 25 to 34, that's 3.3 million, and then 35 to 44 and 45 to 54, that's 3 separate ad sets. Maybe the same ad, but this different ad sets that lets you do the, just lets you do a little bit of testing there to see which real demographic is going to be the one that's profitable for you. And then, of course, you could take these out if you wanted to. You can narrow further. I don't really like doing 3 here. Some people might be like, what about mother books and things like that? I don't really know a mother that isn't passionate about being a mother. And so there are interests out there that you could add in here, probably like mother hood or something like that. Yeah, see, that's an interest, but that's just, that's kind of redundant in my point of view. Really, your product's going to do the selling in any instance, and then this one's pretty broad to where we could get away with just doing these, or even a little bit less to expand out a little bit even more. So, something to take note of: the strategy that comes to you with your ad. I would say with your ad text, as you'll see here in a second, will change based on the demographics too, right? Because if you're targeting mothers in the 25 to 34 range, how old would their children be, right? So if you're incentivizing for maybe a tag, asking the mother, if you're targeting the mother and asking them for their kids to tag, or to tag their kids, I'm sorry, that doesn't really make a lot of sense in this age demographic, right? So just be aware of that kind of stuff. Maybe you want to ask for the husband to tag the husband to get it for you or something like that, or the dad, or if you want to use that terminology. But just be aware of what you're overall doing, because I like to say that the ad is the final layer of targeting, because you're really going to invoke the target audience to take action in that instance, right? So in the ad is the final, it's the billboard, it's the TV commercial, it's the really thing that's going to grab the attention and bring them to your site to close the sale. So let's go back. Let's do 44. I'm gonna do married. So that's 8 million people. We narrowed it down, right? We talked about the possibilities of running it. Depending on what your budget is, you could do a whole bunch of different instances here. There is no solid direction, foolproof way for me to get you going here. It's all about what you're willing to spend and what you want to test out. How granular do you want to get? I think this is a great baseline for us to go after here. So placements. I would hit edit placements, take off the audience network. I've been having a lot of success with Instagram lately. If you really wanted to, you could take the right-hand side column off of it, because the 1200 by 1200 doesn't look very good. So now we have Instagram, and we have the feeds on desktop and mobile, instant articles. And that's a good amount of space, I think, for for you to be winning some auctions. Daily budget, I would run. I like doing anywhere from $25 to $50. Again, that's something of a preference on you. But we're running into an audience of 8 million people here. It's gonna have to take some work for us to really find our target buyers, right? So now we found our audience. Now we got to go to the buyers of that audience. And we need Facebook to help us out there. And we need to help Facebook by getting them some data. And this is where the $5 per day ad sets and stuff like that just really doesn't do the legwork that we need it to. You could do that. Just expect that you might get a sale today and maybe not a sale for a week, right? Because you're trying to sell something that's $28 at $5 per day. It's going to take a little bit to get some data, right? If you just think through the numbers there. So I like conversions, 7-day click, automatic is fine, and then we go to continue, and that's where we're going to go and see our ad here. I got our page going. Again, don't worry about the pixel. We're using an existing post. The reason for that is because I like getting the big amount of real estate here that you can utilize. And if you do the different setup, the create new ad here setup, you get shrunken down to the 1200 by 628. I don't like doing that. Here's what the ad is looking like. So let's go ahead and pull this up. So I said, home is where your mom is, right? Because I really like that phrase because it already invokes so much emotion. They might not see that right away. And that, I think, will draw them back down to the product for them to review it again. If this is something perfect for your home, tag your kids in the comments below. Grab one here, a link, right? So we're trying to keep this on the third or fourth line, the link, because we don't want it to get squished behind the fold that happens when you have too much text in here. I would even prefer it to be moved up a little bit if possible. So maybe review this and reduce it if you can. And we're again incentivizing and trying to get the tag right, and that helps our product and our ad go viral, and which is really neat. And then also it's logical, right? So the mom likes it, the kid gets tagged, the kid knows that the mom wants it for maybe Mother's Day, because at this point we were doing, kind of reverse. It's past Mother's Day now, but we were doing this as like a trend for Mother's Day, a product run for Mother's Day. So Mother's Day potentially would be in the future in this case study. So this is a perfect thing for you to try to get the kid to buy the mom something. It's called reverse targeting. It's been around for quite some time, and it works out really, really well. I wanted to do another instance where you could say something a little different and say, hey, home is where your mom is. And again, that's perfect for a kid too. This is the perfect gift for any mother in your life. Grab one here. I should have said, grab one for her here. Sorry. And here's the link. Tag your mom if you want her to see. And then with a little emoji always goes a long way. This might be below the fold. It could be visible on mobile. And that is a case-by-case scenario on device. But this is really good if you're targeting the mother. And you know what? In this instance too, the mom might tag the grandma, or vice versa. Still might get the kid, because the mom audience that we're targeting could still buy something for their mom, because for Mother's Day especially, it's a very emotional holiday for any new mom, any mom, and they share that with both the kids and with their parents as well. So that's a cool ad that I just came up with real quick as well. Let's go back to the Power Editor. We got our Instagram account hooked up. We're just using it as the page. We picked out our ad, and then you're going to review the order and set that to launch the next morning. I like setting it, if I set it up today, so it's 3:10 here right now, I would set it up for like a 4 a.m. launch, and the next day, and then give it a full day to really optimize, get some traffic, and let that run for a couple of days, 2-3 days. See how it does. If it looks really bad at the beginning, if the cost per link click, there's pre-revenue and post-revenue kinds of stats. Pre-revenue meaning before you've made a sale. You want to see how your CPM is doing. Make sure it's kind of maybe below $10. But really the cost per link click is going to be an important one for you to figure out. We have a $14 margin as is on this product, right? So we need, if we think about the conversion rate, where the conversion rate might be for something like this, 5% would be a really, good conversion rate in my opinion. So do the math. What does our cost per link click got to be? Well, it's got to be certainly below $1 per cost per link click, but the lower the better. We want it probably in the 20 cent or below range to really get some damage. And if it's not there in the first day or so, you might want to revisit it, see what you can do, and change up some things. So I hope this helps for you guys. I hope it's walking you through some logic on how to find the product, target for the product, and then drive some traffic to that audience. Drive some traffic to that product with the audience that you found. And this should be something that you could easily implement in your business, and hopefully you will get a lot of success. All right, take care. Good Schmidt.